Hi, I just erased the 01 because that's the one we're going to do. If you go back here, I'm going to go back again. This is 207 is the page number of the book of the exercises that we're doing. There was 01 there, that's the one we're going to do. And the name of this group of exercises is Parkinson's disease. And the theory video is in this code in YouTube. You can just watch that if you don't understand some parts of what we're doing right now. Okay, let's start with the problem number one. The problem number one is a very simple one. In fact, if you have never coded before, this would be like one of the first problems that you can do because it's very straightforward. There's no exceptions, there's nothing to explain even. I mean, as long as you follow the rules, you will find the code. So the problem is Parkinson's disease, okay? So if you've never coded before, the steps to coding is very simple. You go to the index and you find Parkinson's disease. You are going to get a code there, and then that code you're testing in the tabular, and if it also says Parkinson's disease, that's the code that you want. That's all there is to coding. Okay, now, we're going to go a little deeper on this, just taking advantage it's a very simple problem. And we're going to go in two ways. What about if instead of Parkinson's disease, instead of going to the P, you go first to the C's? Will you get the same thing? You go to the C's, and then from them Parkinson's. Will you get the same result? You should. And we're going to prove it to you that whether you go to Parkinson's disease or you go to disease, you're going to get exactly the same answer. Stephanie's going to do that while I hold the camera, and we both will explain what's going on. Okay? Let me first show you the two paths that I just mentioned. The two paths we have called 1 and 1A. 1, the first path is go to index. Can you point where I'm saying go to? Go to is that / index is the X. Then from there, go to Parkinson's disease. It says something else that's what does. There's those little 3 dots after Parkinson's disease. Can you point to those? After Parkinson's disease, there are 3 dots there. It means that there's something else in the book, but we just ignore that. And then there's a hyphen, and then it says C Parkinsonism. Then you go to Parkinsonism, because that's where they're sending you, and you're gonna find a code next to it that is G20. So that's the code that you are probably looking for. And now if you're just doing this, then the next step will be the second one, which is the second one, no, number 2 below. Okay, after you do the first one, then you go to the tabular, right? And then you go to G20, which is the code that you found, and then you see simply the word in Parkinson's disease, and the equal sign means that that's the code that you want. Okay, that's one path. Now, if you go back to 1A now, in this case, we're going to start with disease. So you go to the index, right? You start with disease, and then you go to Parkinson's, and there's a code there, G20, which is the same thing that if you went directed to Parkinsonism or Parkinson's disease first. So Stephanie's going to do that. First, we're going to go to Parkinson's disease.
All right. I will start for the letter P.
The letter P in the index, right? It's alphabetically, so you go to the letter P.
Here we go. Parkinson's disease.
There it is. It says Parkinson's disease. There's something else, but we don't care about that as long as it says Parkinson's disease. And then it says after that, C Parkinsonism, which means that you have to go to Parkinsonism. So we go there. Where's Parkinsonism?
Parkinsonism is way below.
Right here, right?
Right.
Hold on. There it is. Parkinsonism, right?
Right.
Now, there are 2 words in parentheses. What does parentheses mean?
Parentheses.
This is idiopathic and primary.
They're showing what kind of Parkinsonism are they referring to for the code they're showing?
Right, which means that if you find in the text that says idiopathic Parkinsonism or primary Parkinsonism or just Parkinsonism, all those are descriptions of the same thing, and the code is G20. So the words in parentheses means that you can find also these words in the text and the code is still the same, right? G20, right?
G20.
So the code is G20. Now, the second step will be go to tabular, right?
Right.
For G20.
Okay. G. Here we go.
G20. Okay. G20 says Parkinson's disease. And underneath those, there's also other words to call the same thing. Hemi-Parkinsonism, or if any other descriptions appear there, then the code is still the same, G20, right? But we have checked that G20 is the code. Now, let's go back again and let's try the second path, which will be, we're going to go to disease first.
That starts with the letter D.
We start with the letter D. This is just to see that there are several ways that you can find the same code. So if you go to disease first, in the D, where's the D?
The D is over here, disease.
Disease, and then you go to Parkinson's, right?
Yep, we go to the next column.
And then
it's here.
Let's see. Parkinson's. You see, disease first and then Parkinson's, and the code is exactly the same. G20. Right?
Right.
So, why don't we write it here? The code. Now, we have a table here for the 3 cases of the Parkinson's disease. This is the primary Parkinson's disease because there is no other description or no cause for the Parkinson's disease. So, which of the rows are we going to use? A, B1, or B2?
We're going to use A.
A, because it's the Parkinson's primary, right?
Right.
So we write the code there.
G20.
And since we check already in the tabular, all we have to do is just check it in the book and see if that's what they have it as an answer, right? So it's Parkinson's disease here, and the answer is G20, which is what we wanted. Thank you.